Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 296 based on novel. So let's start. Qing Mu sword formula, Dao Tian sword. Between heaven and earth, Xiao Yan heard a clear cry, and the sword finger suddenly lifted up. Then, over his head, the virtual image of holding the invisible giant sword with both hands was to suddenly insert the giant sword in his hand. Buzz! The sword chi was so fierce that it cut the square heaven and earth into pieces and turned into countless space cracks. Outside the field, several Xiao elders immediately appeared and took joint action, which blocked the battle circle where they were. Even so, the dull explosion sound when the sword chi collided with the energy wall still frightened countless people. Hiss! The next moment, there was no room for breathing. The invisible giant sword, with unparalleled sharp sword spirit, instantly penetrated the Fengshan anger exerted by Xiao Feng from top to bottom. Together with his whole body, it was instantly blown down on the ground below. The blue stones were annihilated and turned into a pile of powder, and the airwave hit, it turned the surrounding ground into ruins. In an instant, the fierce anger of the wind god was broken by Sheng Sheng, together with Xiao Feng, which was also nearly seriously injured. Under the nervous eyes of a group of senior Xiao people outside the field, the storm dispersed, and everyone's eyes quickly gathered together, with a look of horror on their faces. At the moment, Xiao Feng was lying on the ground with no righteous momentum and was in a mess. Looking at Xiao Xian at this time, he was still calm and calm. Over his head, the virtual image of Fengshan's anger was still there. An invisible giant sword was hanging high above Xiao Feng's head. If the unparalleled sword chi had not been deliberately restrained by Xiao Xian, it might have fallen on Xiao Feng's body below. If my sword falls, you will die. Therefore, you lose. The bland voice without a ripple slowly spewed out. Xiao Xian's sword finger, which should have been cut off, trembled slightly and gradually loosened. At the same time, the virtual image above his head and the giant sword also dissipated. I lost. Hearing this, Xiao Feng, lying in the middle of lime, couldn't help but show a look of self-mockery on his pale face. His eyes gradually turned red until a long time. He didn't give out a burst of unwilling laughter. No matter how he thought, Xiao Xian could not only master the road of wind, but also understand the road of sword. Wow! When the self-mockery in Xiao's Tuye fell, even when there was an uproar on the field at this time, countless eyes looked at Xiao Feng lying in the ruins below. There was an unbelievable look in his eyes. It's hard to imagine that the son of God in front of him would be defeated by a Yuan emperor. It's really unbelievable. Of course, what is more shocking is naturally Xiao Yang. There is no doubt that Xiao Feng's cultivation in front of him is not inferior to Ouyang Miao's existence. Now he ends up in such an embarrassed attitude, which is more or less surprising. What makes people feel more shocked is Xiao Xian at the moment. This slightly thin figure in front of us is actually holding the power of two kinds of roads, which seems to be unexpected to all present. The power of the road is the most difficult power to control between heaven and earth. If ordinary people can master one, they can become a strong person and be respected. From a certain point of view, the power of the road is the standard to measure a strong person. However, for most people, it is extremely difficult to understand the power of the road. It is unthinkable to master two kinds of power of the road at the same time. Of course, there is no absolute thing. Looking at the mainland, some anti-heaven figures in the cultivation world can also control the power of the two great roads with their own ability. However, the number of such people is very few. Most of them are the strong people who have been famous for many years in the mainland, or the core disciples of those super forces. The former is needless to say. Once the latter grows up, he will become a strong man standing at the top of the whole continent in the future. However, now Xiao Xian also has the power of two kinds of roads. Once the news comes out, I'm afraid it will cause an uproar in central China. At the thought of this, some of the elders of the Xiao family could not help shaking their heads. Even Xiao Mingyuan, who was standing next to Xiao Yang at this time, had a bitter look on his old face. He naturally understood what this meant, but even so, Xiao Xian's amazing cultivation talent no longer had any value. Who? In the field, Xiao Xian's face was white, and he breathed out a breath gently. The cold sweat on his forehead couldn't help falling. When he turned around, his body was staggering. Xiao Yang, who always paid attention to the former, immediately flashed forward and helped him up. "How are you, ancestor?" Xiao Yang looked worried, and even he felt deeply shocked by Xiao Shuanggong's action, but judging from Xiao Xian's situation, it seemed that he had paid a lot for it. "It doesn't matter. It's just that you exert the power of two roads one after another. It's a little reluctantly. The source gas in your body is exhausted. You'll be fine after a few days of rest." Xiao Xuanqiang smiled and felt helpless. If it weren't for his cultivation, he wouldn't have reached such a point. Instead, Xiao Yang hurriedly took out several pills from the ring and sent them to the former. Xiao Xian was stunned when he saw this and immediately grinned. "I forgot. You are a herbalist." At that moment, he was also impolite. He took the pill immediately. Suddenly, a warm force slid all the way down his throat into his body. Then, the gurgling source gas quickly spread along the meridians in his body. A moment later, Xiao Xian's pale face also improved slightly. With the help of Xiao Yang, he came to Xiao Mingyuan and bent slightly towards the latter, respectfully. "I'm sorry, but the three elders are worried." Xiao Mingyuan couldn't help smiling bitterly and shaking his head. He immediately looked at Xiao Yang, who was beside him. He immediately understood something in his heart and said slowly, "We underestimated your strength. It seems that the reason why you have been holding back these years is for this little guy." In recent years, because of his cultivation, Xiao Xian not only no longer received the attention of the senior level of the Xiao family, but also inevitably attracted the exclusion of some people. After all, he is a foreigner, isolated and helpless in such a large family. Coupled with the stagnation of cultivation, many people are trying to let him leave the Xiao family, but because Xiao Yang has not returned to the family, coupled with the persistence of the elder and others, it made him stay safe and sound. Now, when Xiao Yang returns, Xiao Xian will never let what happened to him happen to Xiao Yang again. Even if Xiao Feng doesn't invite war today, Xiao Xian is bound to take the initiative to win the right for Xiao Yang to face up to in the future. At the end of World War I, more than half of the senior leaders of the Xiao family witnessed the strength of Xiao Xian. After today, the name of Xiao Xian is bound to resound through the whole Xiao family again. At the same time, Xiao Yang will quickly enter the vision of the Xiao family. The names of these grandparents and grandchildren will be quickly engraved in the minds of all the Xiao family. At that time, those old guys of the Xiao family will no longer have any underestimate because they are foreigners. After this war, there will be no doubt about their identity. In front of the main hall, Xiao Yuheng squinted at Xiao Xian on the field, but the corners of his mouth were slightly raised, and a look of wonder appeared on his face. "Tut tut. Use the power of the wind god's anger to show the power of the sword. I'm afraid few people can match the power of this sword under Yuan Zun. I just don't know what it would be like if he did his best." After a murmur, Xiao Yuheng stared at Xiao Xian closely. His eyes twinkled in the depths of his eyes, and he pondered in his heart. After a long time, his eyes suddenly turned, looked at several Xiao elders in front of him, and said sternly, "According to my oral instructions, from now on, Xiao Xian was promoted to the cabinet elder, Xiao Yanli was my family's direct line, and accepted the same treatment as the son of the world." What? As soon as the words came out, the faces of the elders in front suddenly changed, and surprised eyes immediately gathered on Xiao Yuheng, looking unbelievable. Clan leader, even if Xiao Xian wins the sun today, he is a foreigner after all, and his cultivation is so good, how can he take the position of cabinet elder? Although Xiao Xian has the power of two kinds of roads, how could he win Xiao Feng if he didn't take the means of surprise attack? Moreover, Xiao Yang's attitude in the hall was quite stubborn. Since he didn't want to join our Xiao family, how can he be qualified to become our direct family? Cold words came and went one after another. Although they saw the battle just now, they were obviously unwilling to accept what was happening in front of them. Their words belittled Xiao Yang's grandparents and grandchildren. Qualification? Xiao Xian has the power of two great roads. Isn't this qualification? With the cultivation of Yuan Huang, he can defeat Xiao Feng, who is the 4-star Yuanzong. No matter what means, His victory is the result. As for Xiao Yang, no matter what else, who can do it on the mainland today? Xiao Yuheng's dignified eyes slowly swept over the elders in front of him, and his tone was slightly heavy. It's not necessarily a bad thing for people to repel each other, but if you stand in the wrong position, don't blame me for not being considerate. You are all old people in the family. I won't say much if you are embarrassed, but I hope you understand that what I said earlier is to inform you, not to solicit your opinions. He left a sentence lightly. Then Xiao Yuheng turned and went to the hall. Later, all the elders looked at each other and were speechless. After a long time, they sighed deeply and left. On the other hand, Xiao Yang's grandparents and grandchildren said a few more words with Xiao Mingyuan. After taking the latter away, they were ready to leave, but at this time, Xiao Feng, who got up with the help of the two guards, suddenly made a noise. Wait a minute. After a footstep, Xiao Yang turned to Xiao Feng with a bad face, frowned and said, "Do you have anything else?" On one side, Xiao Xian turned slowly and looked at the latter calmly. Ignoring Xiao Yang's cold eyes, Xiao Feng looked directly at Xiao Xian beside him. After a little hesitation, he said, "Your accomplishments can't stop at the Source Emperor, can they?" Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang couldn't help but pick his eyebrows. He was a little surprised. Even the elder of Xiao family had nothing to do about Xiao Xuanqiu's problem, but he didn't want this guy to have doubts. In this regard, Xiao Xian still seemed calm, but he didn't answer Xiao Feng's question. However, when he turned around, the latter saw in a trance. Xiao Xian seemed to nod slightly, which also made Xiao Feng's guess completely implemented. It was not until a long time that Xiao Feng smiled wistfully, calmed down, stepped back from the two guards supported by him, looked at the two distant backs, exhaled a long breath and said, "It seems that I lost this war unjustly." With a slight sigh in his mouth, he immediately shook his body slightly, endured the bursts of weakness from his body, and walked slowly in the direction of coming with his own perseverance. On the court, a group of Xiao guards looked at the scene in front of them. They couldn't help feeling a little surprised and raised a sense of admiration. Xiao Feng is the son of the Xiao family. Although he was defeated miserably in the battle with Xiao Xian, even so, he can still drag this seriously injured body with his own strength. This is by no means what ordinary people can do. Creak. A wooden door was slowly pushed open, a ray of slightly hazy sunlight spread along the crack of the door, and finally formed a slender light on the ground. With the full opening of the wooden door, the light expanded rapidly. Immediately, two figures with different lengths pulled by the sun also came in. It was Xiao Xian and Xiao Yang. After a whole day's trivia, it was already dark. Until this time, Xiao Yang was able to relax. Although the process was a little cumbersome, he still came to the Xiao family. When he saw that Xiao Xian was healthy, his biggest worry was relieved. Although the worry at the bottom of his heart has been relieved, another important problem still lingers in Xiao Yang's heart at the moment. During this time, you can live here first. I believe there will be news from the patriarch soon. He leaned lazily on the chair. Xiao Xian's face was slightly tired. He exhaled a long breath and smiled at Xiao Yang. Message. Xiao Yang just wanted to nod, but then he frowned again. His face was full of doubts. The former smiled slightly and then said, "The patriarch saw everything that happened today. Even if it wasn't for me, in order to let you join the Xiao family, he should always make some remarks." Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang's face was stunned slightly, and his eyes fell on Xiao Xian were also a little erratic. He paused a little and suddenly said, "Ancestor, are you really going to stay here?" Nowadays, Xiao Yang doesn't like this so-called clan. Today, if it wasn't for Xiao Xian's sake, he might have left long ago. But after Xiao Feng, Xiao Yang can see that Xiao Xian seems to have an attitude of identity with the current Xiao family. From this point alone, he has to change his perspective from the perspective of Xiao family. Xiao Xian smiled faintly and said, "You say that because of what happened during the day?" Xiao Yang was non-committal, but the former shook his head carelessly and said with a smile, "Hehe, you boy, as one of the three clans, the Xiao clan is so bossy as you see today. What you see is just what others want you to see. Besides." At the end of his speech, Xiao Xian suddenly gave a pause, then slowly raised his head, stared at Xiao Yang in front of him, and said slightly, "You're not only here for the Xiao family and me. I believe you already know the relationship between the Ghost Gate and the Ghost Gate. If you want to save your wife from them, you can't do it alone. I believe you know better than anyone else." Zana. Referring to Zana, Xiao Yang's body suddenly trembled violently, and his face suddenly became gloomy. At this moment, a terrible sense of killing surged up in his originally calm heart. Together with the breath in his body, it was uncontrolled and wanton. Therefore, in the current situation, the help of the Xiao family is essential to fight against the Ghost Gate. Xiao Xian gave a deep thought and continued. "We don't know the details of the Ghost Gate, but since it can surpass the 3 clans, its strength is naturally not difficult to imagine. As for the Ghost Gate, it is one of the 4 major forces in the central region, and there are naturally some strong people at the source level. Not only are there, but there are also 2 main and deputy sect leaders at the level of source respect." Xiao Yang's face was dark, and his body shook suddenly. A beautiful cheek with a trace of clear and elegant temperament slowly emerged in his mind. No matter what, it can't be removed. "Little doctor." Seeing this, Xiao Xian couldn't help frowning. When he recalled that he had never seen the existence of a small medical fairy in the ancient Chen Hall, he saw such an expression on Xiao Yang's face at the moment. At present, he was vaguely guessing. In short, now, whether it's the Ghost Gate or the Ghost Break Gate, their strength is enough for you and me to look up to. It seems that there is no water and fire between us and them. The real fight is only a matter of time, so we must gather enough powerful strength before this. Joining the clan is undoubtedly the most effective way. Although you and some elders of the clan are biased against each other, we are of the same root and family after all. I believe they will not stand idly by on the matter of being consistent with the outside world." Hearing Xiao Xian's explanation, Xiao Yang's face gradually eased, gasped for a moment, and the killing intention in his chest was gradually calmed down. In his eyes, he recovered Qingming again, nodded slightly, looked directly at Xiao Xian in front of him, and said softly, "It seems that my ancestors were prepared for this." These repeated words didn't give me a chance to refuse. Hearing the speech, Xiao Xian had to smile non-committally. He also knew Xiao Yang's temperament quite well. If he hadn't been prepared earlier, I'm afraid the latter would be very reluctant to join the clan. After all, blood is thicker than water. We are still people of a family. I should do this in love and reason. Since my ancestors said so, I'll find a chance to join the clan. Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. Although he doesn't like the Xiao family at present, he must join the Xiao family even for Xiao Xian, Zana and Little Medical Fairy. Hehe, well, with today's event, I think there will be some news from the Patriarch, soon. Xiao Xian smiled and got up. At the same time, he breathed a long breath, and the whole person's spirit was relaxed a lot. But then, Xiao Yang suddenly turned his eyebrows and eyes, as if he remembered something. He raised his eyebrows and said in a surprised voice, "By the way, Birch and Lotus are still outside." They only mentioned the Xiao family, but forgot the 2 Bai Hua who were blocked by Xiao Li outside the Guchen Hall today. At this moment, Xiao Yang suddenly remembered the 2 people, but he didn't know how they were at this time. Hehe, don't worry. Although Li Changlao doesn't allow them to enter the inner race, there will be people arranging accommodation for them outside the Guchen Hall. There's no need to worry about this. Xiao Xian smiled and signaled Xiao Yang to be at ease. The latter was relieved. But then the next moment, their grandparents and grandchildren looked at the courtyard outside the door. In front of the courtyard, several figures were coming in a hurry. The first was an old man. According to his identity, he should also be an elder among the Xiao family, but behind him at this time, but followed by 2 young people, Xiao Yang saw that it was undoubtedly White Birch and Lotus. Seeing this scene, they immediately raised their eyebrows. It was no coincidence that they could not write a book. Unexpectedly, they came here as soon as their voice fell. Seeing the 3 people coming straight outside the door, Xiao Yang and the 2 quickly looked at each other and immediately stepped forward. Seeing this, the old man immediately said with a smile, "Hehe, Elder Xiao Xian, I have been entrusted by Elder Li to send these 2 to you." While talking, Bai Hua and Liana also quickly moved to Xiao Yang's side. Then they looked at the old man in front of them and quickly bowed down to thank him. "Thank you, elder." He glanced at Bai Hua and the two of them. Then Xiao Xian quickly looked at the old man in front of him. He didn't dare to neglect immediately and immediately bowed his hands to thank him. However, the next moment, he frowned and suddenly looked up. His eyes were quite unbelievable, staring at the old man in front of him. He said in surprise, "Elder Tang, you just said." "Hehe, you heard me right. From now on, you are the cabinet elder of the Xiao family. In the future, I will rely on you more." Seeing the surprised look on Xiao Xian's face, the old man chuckled and joked slightly. At the same time, Xiao Xian's face was also surprised at this moment. Although he had expected the result of the recent war with Xiao Feng, he did not expect that it would bring such a result. There is no shortage of elders in the Xiao family. Looking at the upper and lower levels of the Xiao family, there are at least 100 people who are elders, but almost all of them just hang a title. They are not in power at the top and regardless of benefits at the bottom. Among these elders, there are cabinet elders. These people are the real managers of the Xiao family. However, Xiao Xian did not expect that his battle would directly promote his identity to such a level. Who? In this regard, Xiao Xian's heart did not hold too much happiness, but felt an invisible pressure. After all, now, no matter his identity or status, he will not be popular in the family. In addition, Xiao Yang, they will face more trouble in this family in the future. In addition, Xiao Yang, the patriarch specially ordered that from now on, you should be treated the same as the son of the world. Tomorrow, the family will set up another court for you too. The monthly offering of this month will also be sent to you. The old man looked up and down at Xiao Yang in front of him. At the same time, the smile on an old face became more and more rich. "Thank you, elder. Hehe, you're welcome. I'm Xiao Qingtang. If you need me in the future, just ask me. I will not be stingy wherever I can." The old man held his fist politely. After a slight smile, he stopped staying and turned to walk outside the door. Finally, he disappeared in the sight of Xiao Yang and others. Watching Xiao Qingtang leave, Xiao Yang clapped his hands and smiled at Bai Hua. "Are you all right?" They smiled and shook their heads. After confirming that they were all right, they followed Xiao Xian's guidance and found a room in the attic to rest for the time being. At night, the silver moon hung high, and the faint moonlight sprinkled from the night sky, like a huge silver yarn, shrouded the whole Xiao family in the moonlight. On the top floor of the attic, Xiao Yang lived and sat, his eyes closed, his hands pinched and printed, and made a practice seal knot. With the circulation of breathing between his nose and the surrounding void, strands of naked eye visible energy dissociated from the space, and finally penetrated into the body continuously along the breath. For a long time, the free energy around his body gradually slowed down. Xiao Yang's eyelashes trembled slightly. A moment later, he opened his eyes and vomited out the turbid air held in his chest. The whole person's state also immediately recovered to its peak. One after another, coupled with the war with Xiao Chuhang today, although there was not much consumption, it also made him feel more and more tired. Until this time, his originally dark yellow face returned to ruddy again. A pair of eyes were as strange as being wrapped with a light layer of warm jade in the dark. "Who? Xiao Clan, I hope you don't live up to your ancestors' choice." A fine light flashed at the bottom of his eyes. Xiao Yang whispered in a rather somber tone, and immediately looked up at the dark sky in front of him. In the high night sky, the stars are vast, and a bright moon hangs in the sky, emitting a bright moonlight. Although it is night, the scene above the earth below can be seen clearly. It is not better than day, but it also has another taste. Xiao Yanglu looked at the night sky somewhat absent-mindedly. In a trance, those stars seemed to outline a beautiful woman of the country and the city. With a smile, it made people daydream infinitely. "Zana. The past memories in my mind are constantly flashing. Once there were all kinds of things, but now it looks like yesterday." However, Xiao Yang did not dare to imagine Zana's current situation. He was afraid that the attachment at the bottom of his heart would turn all this into the most cruel killing intention in an instant. "Ghost Hall, it's all you, and..." At the moment when Xiao Yang's killing intention surged in his heart, Xiao Yang's palm suddenly turned over. An ancient jade the size of a palm of a hand and green all over appeared in Xiao Yang's palm. It was Tuorsha ancient imperial jade. Staring at the ancient jade in the palm of his hand, Xiao Yang's hatred became stronger and stronger, and his curved 5 fingers wanted to pinch and explode the ancient jade. In the final analysis, all this was caused by it. Alas! For a long time, Xiao Yang sighed bitterly, turned his palm and stored the ancient jade in the ring again. No matter how much resentment he has in his heart, Tuoshegu Emperor Yu is the most important chip for him to save Zuna. Any impulse will only make the latter more dangerous. After a moment of silence, Xiao Yang shook his head fiercely, threw out his thoughts, and immediately entered the state of cultivation again. Now, the Ghost Gate is still a distant existence for him. Instead of worrying about it, it's better to put all your thoughts forward. How to improve your strength is the most important thing. Even if you want to save people, this premise also needs to be supported by strong enough strength. The next day, when Xiao Yang walked down the attic, the white birch and liana around the table in the hall immediately shot their eyes. The two sides looked at each other and smiled. Immediately after that, in the courtyard outside the door, a gentle sound of footsteps attracted their eyes together. When the 3 eyes shot away, the comer was Xiao Mingyuan. 3 elders. Xiao Yang hurried forward to salute, and then Bai Hua followed closely. "Ha, little guy, we've met again. I think you already know what the patriarch announced yesterday?" Xiao Mingyuan smiled and swept his eyes from the 3 people in front of him. It's needless to say that Xiao Yang in front of him. However, the white birch and liana also raised their eyebrows after their eyes glanced slightly. A look of surprise appeared in his old eyes. Fortunately, they didn't show much. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. Then he saw Xiao Mingyuan take a ring from his finger and handed it over. "This is your monthly payment. In addition to this month, there are all the monthly payments in the past 2 years. As for others, count them yourself." Looking at the receiving ring in front of him, Xiao Yang took it without any hesitation. If it were yesterday, he would not easily take over. But since he is willing to join the Xiao family, this month's offering should belong to him. Naturally, there is no need for hesitation. Seeing this, Xiao Mingyuan's eyes lit up. He still knew something about Xiao Yang's temperament. He didn't promise the strong invitation of the Xiao family yesterday. Naturally, it's impossible to accept this monthly offer so willingly. It must be what happened last night. At present, his heart thought of Xiao Xian. By the way, where's Xiao Xian? He doesn't seem to be here. With Xiao Mingyuan's cultivation, when he entered the attic, he already realized that Xiao Xian was not here. Our ancestors went to the back mountain to practice. The light in his eyes flashed, and Xiao Yang didn't care. It is said to be cultivation, but in fact it is to refine the last half of the fragments of the formula of returning to the source. If luck is not bad, maybe after the half fragments are refined, Xiao Xian's cultivation will be able to step into the source sect. At that time, Xiao Yang will have a look at the expression on the faces of those arrogant Xiao elders. "Oh, well, yesterday I saw him show his 2 kinds of power. I'm still not satisfied. I wanted to compete with him. Maybe I can improve my power on the road, but in that case, forget it." The old man smiled jokingly, looked at the stunned expression on the faces of the 3 people in front of him, and immediately turned his voice and said again, "By the way, little guy, since you're staying in the clan now, maybe you can try to participate in the clan meeting in 6 months. The clan meeting includes the best of the younger generation in most families. Although it may not be attractive to you, the reward of the meeting is quite moving. You can get 20 top-grade spirit stones if you come first." In the end, Xiao Mingyuan's tone increased a little deliberately, and the so-called first prize did not unexpectedly change the faces of the 3 people in front of him. 20 top-grade spirit stones. Hearing this, the muscles in the corners of Xiao Yang's eyes couldn't help pumping. Looking back, he borrowed the 2 best spirit stones given to him by Xiao Jin, and his cultivation has fully improved 3 stars. It can be imagined that these 20 best spirit stones are another huge cultivation resource. When Xiao Mingyuan left, Xiao Yang and the three were still surprised at the first prize he mentioned earlier. Even Lian who had always seemed ignorant, couldn't help a hot look on his slightly childish pink cheeks. There are 20 top-grade spirit stones. If they were placed outside, they would be enough to create a second-class sect power. Their influence is not great, and if they could be in the hands of Xiao Yang and others. Looking at the white birch and lotus on one side, Xiao Yang felt a little touched in his heart. Although his strength has been improved one after another, they are not standing still. With Bai Hua's physique, her cultivation now seems to have reached the level of the king of the 7-star source, and there is a faint sign of breaking through the 8-star source. Lian Er's cultivation speed is even more amazing. The terrible physique of the misfortune poison body is fully revealed in her, and her cultivation has reached the level of the king of the 4-star source. In addition, Bai Hua's training on her every day cooperates with the misfortune poison body. The girl's combat power is quite good in the realm of Yuan Wang. According to this cultivation speed, if you add the 20 top-grade spirit stones, Xiao Yang is fully confident that he can improve their strength to Yuanzong within 1 year. What's the matter? Why are you standing here? While the three of Xiao Yang were distracted, Xiao Xian didn't know when he had entered the courtyard. He stepped forward a few steps and looked at the three in front of him with a little doubt. Xiao Xian uttered a word, and the three suddenly returned to their senses. They all shook their heads. Then they gave a general description of Xiao Mingyuan's previous visit. Naturally, it also included the so-called clan association. Oh, the clan association? Calculate the time. It's really coming. If you have the opportunity, you can all take part in it. It won't do any harm. Even if you don't get on the ranking, the family will also give some rewards. Of course, if you can get the ranking, it's undoubtedly the best. Seeing the fiery look on Liana's cheek, Xiao Xian couldn't help smiling. The words in his mouth made the three frown. Us. Of the three of us, only Xiao Yang is a member of the Xiao family. I'm afraid Liana and I are not qualified to participate in such a family event. Birch and Lotus looked at each other and hesitated. Hehe, don't worry about this. In the past, maybe you really couldn't participate in this clan meeting, but now, as an elder of the Xiao cabinet, I still have some rights. In addition, Xiao Yang is here. I believe there won't be any problem. Xiao Xian smiled and waved his hand, but he didn't take it to heart. Seeing this, Bai Hua and Liana nodded and smiled. There was a bright light in their eyes. Xiao Yang also felt a little hot in his heart. To tell the truth, he was also quite curious about Xiao Feng's strength. Yesterday, he saw him show his Fengshan anger, but his power was particularly powerful. I don't know how to face him with his current strength. What's the odds? Half a year. I don't know how much my strength can be improved. He shook his palm lightly, and the look in Xiao Yang's eyes gradually became firm. Then, several people laughed and talked one after another, and then they sat down one after another. The rules of the clan association are all clichés. I don't need to say more. Someone will introduce you at that time. I believe the rest don't have to worry too much. Remember, the purpose of the clan association is not to reward, but to hope you can gain rich experience in more actual combat. Therefore, as long as you try your best, everything should focus on yourself. I believe, with your talent, as long as you practice at ease in the next 6 months, it is not difficult to achieve results in the clan meeting. Hearing the speech, Bai Hua and Liana nodded one after another, and a hot color crossed their faces, which made Xiao Yang feel helpless. After hearing the reward of the 20 best spirit stones, these two guys turned into this shape, which really made people cry and laugh, but they were relieved when they thought about it carefully. The best spirit stones are hard to meet in the outside world, and their value is immeasurable. Now it's inevitable to get excited when they have this opportunity, but they seem to forget that only the final winner of the clan association can get the reward of the best spirit stone. By the way, I wonder if the skill of our ancestors was successfully refined. After returning to his mind, Xiao Yang thought of the formula of returning to the source again. At present, he hurriedly asked for a voice. The latter heard the speech, but smiled bitterly, shook his head and said slowly. Refining was successful, but the cultivation didn't break through as smoothly as expected. This stagnation really had some impact on my cultivation. I'm afraid it's not so easy to break through the source school. In this regard, Xiao Xian was also a little helpless. According to the nature of Guiyuan formula, he should have used this opportunity to break through to the great territory of Yuanzhong. However, after refining the fragments of the skill, he was vaguely aware of the barrier to the great territory of Yuanzhong that should not exist. How could this happen? As soon as he said this, Xiao Yanli frowned and a look of surprise appeared on his face. Based on his understanding of Guiyuan formula, he could never encounter a bottleneck before cultivating each volume to the peak. However, it is really surprising that Xiao Xian encountered such a situation at the peak of Yuan Huang. Maybe it's because the third volume is broken, but it doesn't matter. Since there is a bottleneck, it's a breakthrough. There's nothing to worry about. You need the help of different fire to improve your strength. Do you know where to look for the other two kinds of different fire? Hearing this, Xiao Yang shook his head reluctantly. Even Yi Honglian didn't know where the other two different fires were. How could he know that the only thing he can be sure now is in the middle region? But the mainland is so big that even in the middle region, trying to find the whereabouts of different fires is like looking for a needle in a haystack. At this time, Xiao Yang's mind suddenly recalled what he said when he was in Tianyun Villa. As far as it is concerned, the ancestor of Dantar seems to know where there are different fires in the middle region. If he is helpless, this may become a clue he can't ignore. With this in mind, a bright light flashed in Xiao Yang's eyes. Seeing this, Xiao Xian couldn't help laughing. He also guessed in his heart. Immediately, it seemed to think of something. As soon as his palm turned over, the ring between his fingers flickered slightly. Then, two spirit stones with strong energy breath appeared in his palm. When the three people looked at it, their eyes suddenly coagulated. In front of me, there are two top-grade spirit stones, no doubt. This video will end here.